product in this box has gone absolutely viral and is all over my social media feed, and I have been very curious to try it out. Inside this box is the new Revo 6 string trimmer attachments that replace your mower blades. So today we're gonna unbox it, then we're gonna learn how to install it, and then we're gonna go to the lawn and actually see how well they actually cut compared to normal metal blades. Guys, check this out. Guys, this is not a sponsorship. I'm not even telling you to buy it. Before you buy it, let's watch the whole video and see if they're any good, okay? Because that's what the claim is. All over the internet says they are fantastic, they're better than normal blades, and I'm not sure. The science doesn't make sense to me, but when I put this on order, you know what? I was really impressed with their customer service. The owner of this company actually called me to verify the size of my blade, the size of my deck, and he was a really nice guy. And he kind of gave me a little history on this product. He made this product for his lawn specifically. He lives in Texas. There's lots of rocks, there's lots of mole holes, gopher turtle holes, and like stones and gravel. And he says he was tearing up blades, he was shooting glass through windows, doing all kinds of terrible stuff. And he built this with a friend of his to basically solve that problem. And he was a really nice guy, a gentleman, and I'm not trying to hurt his company at all. Maybe this is the right product for you, and maybe we're gonna learn that today. But maybe this is not the right product for you, and we're gonna learn that today as well. So before you go buy this, watch the whole video, we're gonna get into it. First, what comes in the box? I already did open it because I didn't know if this was for me or not, but now that we know, I'm gonna reopen it with y'all. Let's see what's in here. Packaging, pretty interesting. Okay, here it is. The Revo 6, this is the 2.0 version, has a metal adapter that you replace your blade with. Comes with trimmer string. It comes with a little washer if needed. They call it the 6, I believe, because it has 6 lines that come out of it. Let's see how these work real quick. It's very heavy duty feeling, it's aluminum. It's held together with some nice screws, and they look like they have a ratcheting string trimmer hold. So you push this in here and it pops out there, and then it holds the line. It's holding it pretty good. And then you push it all the way through and you can replace it. So you do this to all 6. I'd be curious to see how long this lasts. The owner was telling me he uses his line for his property twice before he has to change it. And I asked him how many acres is that, and he said about 8 acres. So he does about 16 acres before he has to change these. And you know, that doesn't sound like a lot to me. I mean, mower blades last a lot longer than that. You know, we've sold some mowers to like, so this mounts up there like this. We've sold some mower blades to like construction companies and things like that who are mowing absolutely brutal areas and they don't need lift and they're just trying to knock stuff down. Maybe that's who would use this, but I'm excited to see how this works. Basically, this thing just spins and it string trims and it attaches underneath there. It doesn't have any way of creating lift. I know it's gonna create wind movement, but normally a blade has a sail. I mean, this would be qualified as like a 0 sail. And it only has enough string for 2 replacements. So well, that's one downside I can see is when you buy this, you're gonna be kind of dependent on this guy to replace your string a lot. He doesn't give you a lot of extra. I don't know if you can use normal string trimmer line, if like a really thick string trimmer line maybe would fit in here, but he did say that he designed this line specifically for its longevity and certain properties, that it moves very flat in the air as it spins. So that's interesting. The box came with 3 of these setups with extra string to do basically an exchange one time. So enough string to load it the first time and enough string to reload it one other time. And it comes with 3 packages. When you're on his site, he's gonna ask you your deck size and how many of these you want. I think this was the Rancher Pro option, and it came with 3 setups with some extra lines. So there are some other options on his website. Guys, let's go see how we install it. But you can see how easy it is to put these in there. Just a little ratcheting piece in there, it holds it in place. You just stick it in and it holds it in place. Pretty good. Let's go install it and see how it works. Okay, so the first thing I noticed right away was that I didn't know exactly which mower I was gonna use for this video, so I ordered this with a 5/8 hole. And this is the new GrandStand blade, and it has a 15/16 hole, much larger. As you can see, they don't match, right? And so I'm gonna see if there's any way using the bushing or the bolt to install these. If not, then we might have to grab another machine. But that's the first thing when you're ordering the Revo 6, is make sure you know your blade hole size and make sure you get it right. But let's see if we can adapt it onto this, because I have a feeling it's not gonna work. I might have to grab another machine. Let's try. So you can see how these blades are installed. There's an adapter like that. And I'm just guessing. Problem is, see how there's play there? It won't make for a very stable device. I could do that, It is kind of self-centering a little bit. This shape here is interesting. It kind of makes it sit center. Let me tighten it up and see what it does. Yeah, it shouldn't have that much play in it. But if I hold it in place, I think we're gonna be able to make it work, y'all. Let's do the other ones and see how it goes. So out in the field, when you go to change your strings, you're gonna have to kind of be up underneath here like this. And you just stick them in like so. And it comes to changing them, you can just pull it through, maybe with a pair of pliers. Yeah, like that. Let's do the other side. Very interesting. So that's not how these bushings are supposed to be used, but it does seem to work. I don't know if you're supposed to put them in any particular way, but I'm guessing once they start spinning fast enough, they'll all kind of straighten out. But let's lower it down and see if it works. That is the scariest sounding deck I ever heard. I think everything's working. There's a lot of wind noise, but maybe it's quieter when it's cutting grass. Let's go try it out. Hey, so we're here at Alam to test how well it actually cuts. Typically, this Turbo Force deck cuts amazing, so I don't know how well it's gonna cut with these Revo 6s, and that's why we're here today. Is it gonna cut well? Whatever quality cut you see right now is not because of the grandstand, because of the blade type. So let's just start cutting. Really, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm excited. The blades turn on incredibly fast, and when you shut the blades off, they stop incredibly fast, and they are very loud. I think it is because of all the wind noise with those 6 strings. It's like the equivalent of running 12 string trimmers at the same time as far as that wind sound. It sounds very, very weird, but I can't wait to see how it does in the actual grass. All the videos we've seen online so far of this product actually working is in really dry grass. And so now we found some juicy St. Augustine. There's some weeds in here. We're gonna see how well it does, so let's watch. Definitely leaving some grass behind. Having to cut a couple things, a lot. Whew. Okay, interesting. The strings get a lot quieter once they run for a second and they basically self-correct to make themselves the right length. And especially once you get on the grass, they get pretty quiet. They get almost as quiet, if maybe even more quiet than standard blades. But the cut quality is definitely not equivalent to steel blades or metal blades. The cut quality is far, far worse. I'm leaving lots of grass behind. It looks pretty raggedy. But is it cutting grass? Yes. Is it making tall grass, short grass? Mostly. I mean, it's probably cutting at a rate of maybe 60, 70% as good as standard blades. Where I did like it, and I thought it actually performed well, was in this kind of area here. There's lots of little trees, oak trees with lots of stumps. When I was a kid, me and my brother had a landscape company for a little while, for a summer or two, and we would mow a lot of the houses in this neighborhood. And this house in particular has a lot of stumps or roots that have grown up, and your blades can hit them if you're cutting a little bit lower. And I had zero fear with the Revo 6s on here because I knew if my string hits it, it's just gonna bounce off the stump. But I could see, literally, there's a couple little roots in here that has totaled. I had an old Walker ride-on mower, and it destroyed a spindle right there and broke the blade. And this thing went over that same stump, and nothing happened. I didn't even hear a sound. So that is one advantage of it. But as far as, is this the right for just standard lawn and cutting your grass? The answer is no. Is it better than normal blades? No. For cutting grass, no. And if you look at these strings, I want to pull them off here in a second. We have not mowed very much, maybe a quarter acre, probably not even that much. And I can already tell significant wear on these strings. So it makes me think that in some thicker grass environments, there's going to be a lot of wear on these strings really quickly. I want to go mow some thicker grass, some like heavy duty stuff, because there is some advantages of these things maybe bending and slipping around some thicker stuff. And if you were to use this to like maybe brush hog a little bit, how would it do? So we're gonna go out onto the golf course, the abandoned golf course where there's some really thick grass, and see how it does. One thing I did want to just mention and note is how much I love this HDX. I haven't mowed a ton with it lately. I hurt my knee last year and my back this year, and the idea of grandstand has been a little bit scary for me. Not scary that it's gonna really hurt me, but I was just thinking, oh, I'd probably rather sit down right now. But so comfortable. This yard is full of roots and big bumps, and I just forgot how nice these kangaroo legs, this suspension system right here, takes care of all those bumps better than any suspension seat you can get. And I just am reminded how much I like this machine. If you want to learn more about this machine, we have a whole video on just this machine, and we're gonna have some more content come out on it soon. But let's go test these string blades, or that Revo 6 string attachments on some thicker stuff. Let's try it. So we know the quality of cut isn't that great. Now I'm kind of curious just like how long do these strings last before they just leave giant gaps before I wear out too many. So we're at about an acre right now. But we're gonna go find some more grass, some taller grass, to see if there is a particular grass it does well at, because really did not do very well in the St. Augustine. That wasn't extremely high. As you see in this field, it is knocking this stuff down, but it's not a great cut by any means. And this is actually pretty dry. It hasn't rained in about a week. And so it's a lot drier than normal. And so it should cut better than this. Normally, if we had normal blades on here, it'd be cutting much better than this. So we're gonna go try even a little bit thicker stuff and just put some time and wear on these blades. So let's keep looking. Hey, I want you guys to see, this is absolute powdered white sand. This might be what your yard looks like. Typically with a lawnmower, it would suck up this sand. It's gonna blow a hole in your deck and all kinds of stuff. I think this might be a good application for the Revo 6. This is an old sand trap that's been grown over, so we're gonna mow around here. And I wanted to test out, one, just how well does this GrandStand HDX with these huge 24, 12 tires cruise over this soft surface. This is literally like moon sand. And I also want to see how bad does this sandblast. I noticed this thing's not blowing out grass really far, and so it's not creating any kind of suction really. And it might be good if you had a sandy environment, or maybe you're working on construction sites or that sort of thing. So after about a half hour of mowing, I have estimated we probably have only mowed about an acre and a half. And granted, we did start with some easy stuff and we got to some hard stuff. We mowed some tall grass on the golf course, some sandy stuff. We mowed a decent St. Augustine mix with some weeds in there. Nothing crazy though, really nothing unusual that maybe you would encounter with your lawnmower. And the question is, how much string have we used, and how, is this a good option? Chip, what do you think about it? And my conclusion is it's not a great cut. It is pretty cool if you had some tricky areas with roots, or maybe some construction sites with rocks. I could see there being a use for these for certain municipalities, certain construction companies who maybe had to maintain a property. But for the general landscaper, I don't think this is the right product for you. In our half-hour mowing, we've lost about a ½ inch of string. And that might not seem like a lot, and it's really not a lot. But when it comes to your mower blade length, normally mower blades are within an 1/8 of an inch of each other. And so if you were to shorten those both by ½ inch, you're gonna have a big stripe that you're leaving. And even going slow on normal, nice grass where I'm only removing an inch or two, it just left a lot of strays. So this probably is not the best solution for most residential users, at least in Florida. Maybe if you live in a sparser grass environment, maybe if you live in Texas and you got a field of bahia that's kind of dried up and crispy, it's gonna knock it down, it's gonna look fine. You're not gonna have to worry about rocks, stones, clay, bubbles, whatever. Another interesting use for this might be if you were bidding a new job. Maybe there's some property that was really overgrown or nasty, or you didn't know if it was, people who do foreclosed homes, right? And they might have cinder blocks or debris out in the yard. This might be a great option for you as a landscaper to go and test out a property and just to find what's out there. Because I hit a few stumps today and a few roots today, and this did not make any damage to my mower. And I think that's a great reason for these. So if you do like foreclosed homes and that sort of stuff, this might be a great option for you. Something that's gonna protect your investment, which is your mower, and it's gonna help you knock the grass down for your photos so you get paid. And yeah, it might cost you some string, but at least you didn't damage something important, right? So that's something to consider. But if you have nice grass and you're thinking about, is this a better solution than blades? I don't believe the Revo 6 is. I do think it's a great product. I think it was well engineered. I do think it's pretty cool, and the company owner was amazing, and I was so thankful for our quick phone call. Do I think it's the best for commercial landscapers in Orlando, Florida? Probably not. If you mow your own grass, do I think it's best for you on your time cutter or something like that? Probably not either. There are some conveniences to it. It's not as loud as I thought it was. And I don't think it put an enormous load on my mower. I think it probably was good for my mower. It probably was better for my spindles, because these things pretty much self-balance really quickly, and they're so light that if there is some differences, it's not gonna make a huge difference for you and your machine. But if you don't believe me or wanna take my word for it, try them out. The kit I bought was around $260, and you're gonna be replacing these about every hour of mowing. And that's just something to consider. It's an expense. And you're gonna be kind of committed to his specific line. I do know that he's coming out with some other line and some other head types that maybe are stronger or last longer. But for right now, this is what he's offering, and that's gonna probably cost you a lot per mow. But if you had a unique situation, if you have a rocky yard, if you have a construction site that you're trying to maintain, maybe this is a good option for you. Check out the Revo 6. I appreciate you guys for watching. For more reviews of interesting heads and designs that are aftermarket, we have lots of videos, some up here, some over there, and we would love for you guys to watch them and check them out. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. My name's Chip. Take it easy.